Hello everyone out there in tax land and the tax man here. Listen, taxes don't have to be hard. Here we take complex tax subjects and we make them easy because we want everyone to understand, to benefit, and to save money. And today I'm going to be talking about a very sensitive subject, that of identity theft. I'm going to be talking about the two different types of identity theft in the tax world and how to make sure that the IRS corrects your account if you're a victim. Stay tuned. Now, the first type of identity theft can occur when someone steals your name and social security number and uses it to file a fraudulent tax return in your name. The basics of it are this: I steal your information, I file a return, I make up numbers that give me a large refund, I hope that IRS doesn't catch it, that they send the refund to me, and then I steal off into the night with the money. Now, there's typically two ways that taxpayers find out that they're a victim of this type of identity theft. The first is if they try to e-file a return and the IRS rejects it, saying that there's already a return on file for you, but you know you haven't already filed a return. The other way that taxpayers find out is they get these surprise, angry letters from the IRS, sometimes years after the return was first due, demanding back the incorrectly issued refund and sometimes assessing additional tax and some pretty extreme penalties because the IRS thinks it was you that made up the numbers on the return and not the identity thief. The next type of identity theft that occurs in the tax world is when someone uses your name and social security number to obtain a job. Now, in the US, to be able to legally work, you need a social security number, meaning you need to either be a citizen or a lawful permanent resident. But there's plenty of folks in the US who do not meet this criteria. They need to eat, so they need to get a job. And to get a job, you need a social security number. If you don't have a social security number, sometimes they obtain one through fraudulent means. Now, the problem that this creates is that that person who's using the identity works for the year, and then at the end of the year gets either a W-2 or a 1099. But the person whose identity is being taken doesn't know about those numbers, doesn't know about those extra income documents. So then when they file their return, they're not including those documents, and the IRS eventually sends a letter asking where they are and demanding additional tax and penalties. And this is how most taxpayers who are victims of this type of identity theft find out. They get this letter from the IRS. It's called a CP-2000. And the CP-2000 lists all of the income documents that were not reported on your return. If you get one of these letters, it's vitally important that you look at every single one of those items and make sure that they belong to you. And if they don't, you need to tell the IRS that you're a victim so that they can start working to fix the problem. And how do you tell the IRS that you're a victim of identity theft? Well, you might have guessed it, it's filling out a form. The form is called the 14039, the Identity Theft Affidavit. This is the way that you formally tell the IRS that you're a victim, help them open a case, and get to work on cleaning up your account. The 14039 Identity Theft Affidavit is pretty simple. In it, you list who you are, you list the years that you're affected by identity theft, and you give the IRS a narrative, write a few sentences or a few paragraphs on exactly how you are a victim of identity theft. Now, if someone has filed a fraudulent return in your name, you can submit the 14039 ID Theft Affidavit along with your original return. If someone has been using your name and social security number to work, then you can submit the 14039 by itself. But I would be very explicit about exactly which tax documents belong to you and which ones do not, if you know, maybe from the CP-2000 or a wage and income transcript. But the more specific you are about which documents specifically belong to you, the better your chances of the IRS correctly fixing your case after you submit. Now, after you submit the 14039, it can take around 6 months to process, but that's because the IRS investigates every single claim, and because the ID theft unit at the IRS has some pretty broad powers to remove fraudulent returns from your account and to remove fraudulent income from your account, as well as eliminate any tax, interest, or penalties that have been incorrectly assessed because of identity theft. Now, if you think you might be a victim of one of these types of identity theft, or if you'd like help cleaning up any identity theft issues on your tax account, then there's no better place to call than me and my team at Community Tax. Phone number 1-800-424-8332. O, si prefiere español, 888-523-6606. Hey, if you like what you saw, make sure you give us a like or give us a subscribe so that you can make sure you stay up to date on all the latest tax news and information. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dan, the tax man, tax professional with Community Tax, and I will see you next time.